Hello everyone, it's April 29th of 2012, and that means that since we're at the end of April, once again I'm going to make two videos, a best of films for April, and also a films to avoid in films in April. I will also make soon a films to look forward to in May, since May is coming here in a few days. So, let's go ahead and get to it, shall we? First I'm going to talk about some of the films that came out in theaters. Now, I haven't seen everything, so I'm not going to be able to talk about everything, but I will try to mention some of the films that I did not see, as well as some of the ones that I have seen. Now, April started off with films. They started off with, the 3D showing of Titanic, and if you watch my review, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I already covered most of it, but Titanic, like I said in my review, is a great film and all, and I really thought that the 3D really brought the film out, and I thought that Titanic was a great way to start off the films in April of 2012. I thought, the 3D really brought the movie experience out. Titanic and all is just a 10 out of 10, just a great film, and I thought that was a really good way to start the month of April off. And then we had, the week after that, we had, American Reunion, and I didn't see American Reunion, so I'm not going to comment too much, but I wasn't really too interested in seeing it to begin with, but maybe you guys can let me know in the comment board, and let me know what you guys thought of American Reunion. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you think it did the series justice? Because it had been a long time since they had made, American film. I believe the last one, besides all the, the crummy, besides the bad sequels like Bandcamp and those. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about, like, the actual legit ones, like American Pie 1 and 2 and American Wedding. That's what I'm talking about. It had been a while since they had made one of those films. So, let me know what you guys thought about American Reunion. I didn't actually see it, so I'm not going to comment too much. Then, the week after that, my life was changed, because we had Cabin in the Woods came out, on April 13th of this year. And Cabin in the Woods, I already reviewed it. Maybe you guys might want to check out my review. Anyways, Cabin in the Woods, is just a great horror film. It's pretty much just about these kids that get in the cabin, go off to the woods, and things take a turn for the worst, and it's everything you want in a horror film and more. It pays homages. It's just a cool film in general. Don't want to give away any spoilers, so that's all I'm going to say. Then we had, a sci-fi kind of film called, Lockout. I believe it starred, I believe it had Guy Pearce in it, and it was pretty much just about, I believe this guy's daughter gets, like, kidnapped or something. Anyways, he has to go save her, and apparently all these, like, prisoners on board on this escape, and he has to, like, fight through these guys. Anyways, it looked like your typical sci-fi action film. I heard it got kind of mixed reviews, so I don't really know what to think of Lockout because I hadn't seen it. Maybe you guys can let me know if you liked it in the comment board below. Then we had, during that same week, we had a film called The Three Stooges, and just by the trailer, I did not want to see that film because I'm not too good on comedies to begin with, but The Three Stooges looked pretty terrible. Now, I haven't seen it, so, you can take my opinion with a grain of salt. Anyways, I didn't want to see it. I know it got mixed reviews online. A lot of people thought it was just too drawn out. Some people liked it, some people didn't. I wasn't too interested in seeing it to begin with. But, the only two films that I've actually seen this month, I haven't actually seen as many as I normally do, because, April hasn't really had, too much out. The only things that I was really even interested in seeing, was Cabin in the Woods, and Lockout looked decent. But besides that, there really wasn't too much. Now, I know we still, tomorrow, or not tomorrow, the other day, a few more movies came out, and I was interested in seeing The Raven. Now, if you don't know The Raven is pretty much, stars John Cusack, playing the character of Edgar Allan Poe, and there is a killer basing his murders off Edgar Allan Poe's poems, so these cops, they get Edgar Allan Poe to help them find, the murderer. Anyways, I was curious to see The Raven. I know I didn't get the best reviews, but I was still curious to see it, and I probably won't be able to get to see it till it probably comes out on DVD, because it didn't come to the theater that I live in. Anyways, I was also curious to see Pirates, Band of Misfits. I will probably most likely see that tomorrow or sometime during the next week, because it did actually come to the theater. The theater that I live in actually chose 5-Year Engagement, which stars Jason Segel instead of The Raven, which I was like, oh, come on now, you could have chose The Raven, but what can you do? Anyways, I'll probably be watching The Pirates soon, and I will probably be posting a review of that within the next week or two. Anyways, April's been a pretty decent month for movies in theaters. Not phenomenal, but Cabin in the Woods was a phenomenal film. That was Cabin in the Woods was a great film, but as a whole, there wasn't a lot that was coming out in April. Anyways, May is a lot better. May is a great month for movies. Anyways, let's talk a little bit about the movies. Those are the theatrical films. If I had to pick a best of April, it's for sure, Cabin in the Woods. I'm not including Titanic because Titanic is, it was a re-release. The film had already been out for years and they just re-released it in 3D. So just out of the ones that came out in April, even if I was to see, The Raven, American Reunion, I'd still say that probably Cabin in the Woods would probably still be the best film of April in theaters. Anyways, let's move on to the films that came out on DVD during April. Let me just look here on my list real quick. Let's see here. I believe April 24th is when this film came out. The Innkeepers. The Innkeepers was a great film. It starred Sarah Paxton and a few other people, but Sarah Paxton was the notable star of it. Anyways, The Innkeepers, if you haven't watched my review, I'll tell you just a little bit about it. The Innkeepers pretty much is about this hotel that is supposedly haunted by this ghost, and the hotel is actually in the last days of it's actually getting ready to be closed down. So Sarah Paxton, another young guy, they both work there. They work as clerks, and they're pretty much before it's going to close, they want to find out if the story of the ghost is true. So they do some stuff, and I thought Innkeepers was very well done. Innkeepers was a great film. Watch my review for more info on the Innkeepers. Another film that came out on DVD this month, I believe it came out the 17th of April, was a film called The Divide. And The Divide was a great film. I already reviewed it. Anyways, The Divide, pretty much, the basic plot is that a nuclear bomb hits the city, and all these people have to bunker down in this kind of underground bunker beneath this building, and they kind of psychologically and mentally break down as they're in the bunker, and one guy kind of takes charge of the whole deal. And The Divide was a great film, a very bizarre and weird film, but overall, a 9 out of 10. Divide, very cool film. If you haven't seen it, you really ought to check it out. Another film that came out this month was a film called Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, starring, Tom Cruise. And this film critically did very well. I believe it got like a 96, 98, something like that, 94, something like that on Rotten Tomatoes. It got somewhere in the 90s. Got a very high percent on that. It was so popular that they fast-tracked it, and they're already going to make another Mission Impossible films. I believe they're actually going to make 2 more. So I was like, wow, they're that was the success of Mission Impossible. It did so well that Tom Cruise is jumping back on board, and they're saying, hey, let's go ahead and do another one since I believe it was the 4th one. Since the 4th one did so well, let's make another one, is what they said. So, anyways, that was confirmed for a sequel. If you guys like that, I'm not too fond of these kind of films, but I thought Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol was a great, I haven't seen the previous 3. Like I said in my review, I really thought it was cool how they connected the series. Just a cool film, a lot of cool gadgets, like I said in my review, stuff like that. Ghost Protocol, overall, great film, just a cool action thriller kind of film. Anyways, check it out if you guys haven't seen it. Another cool film that came out at the beginning of this month, April 3rd, was a film called War Horse. And, Spielberg, War Horse was a really cool film. I'm not for sure of the guy's name, but the guy that is playing Loki in the upcoming Avengers film, which comes out this weekend. Anyways, the guy that played Loki in the film plays Axe in the War Horse film. I don't know his name. Anyways, he's in that. Anyways, War Horse is pretty much about this kid and this horse's relationship and how they'll go through anything, to find each other. And anyways, War Horse is a cool film. Just not a family film, a film that everyone should like. If you don't like it, I don't see what you're missing out on a lot if you haven't seen War Horse. Anyways, War Horse is a really cool film. You really ought to check it out. Another cool film that a lot of you may not know of was a film that starred Kane Hodder, the guy that played Jason, and he played Jason in a bunch of films. He also played Victor Crowley in the Hatchet films. Anyways, it starred Kane Hodder. It also starred Leslie Easterbrook, and she plays, in Devil's Rejects. Anyways, it mainly starred her, and it was a film called The Afflicted, and supposedly based on a true story. I'm not for sure if I'd have to do a little more research, but supposedly based on a true story where the mom has three or four children, and she's very, very religious, and she tortures her kids, and she bases all her beliefs on the Bible. And anyways, Leslie Easterbrook plays the mom, and Kane Hodder plays the dad. And anyways, the basic plot is the daughter's having to kind of go through this, their mom, being pretty much a religious nut. Anyways, The Afflicted was a very cool film. I really liked The Afflicted a lot. You guys really ought to check it out. Anyways, another cool film that came out in April on DVD was a film called 11-11-11, and I believe that came out just a few days ago, actually. And 11-11-11 pretty much was about, the whole occurrence of the number 11-11-11 doesn't actually start happening until later on in the film, but the basic plot of the film is he is a writer, and he's sorry, it's been a little while since I've seen it, so I have to kind of remember the plot of it. Anyways, he's a writer, and he's not doing very good on his writing, so he's a recovering writer. He's trying to, he's going to like this seminar thing, trying to get better. Anyways, this isn't any possible because this happens very early in the film. Anyways, his dad starts to have medical conditions, that aren't very good at all. His dad's he's not dying yet, but he's dying, and he's in the hospital, or not in the hospital, but he's in his old house, and he's being taken care of by a nurse that comes out to the house. Anyways, he travels all the way to Barcelona where they live. His brother is a very religious guy. His brother is a priest, and the main character, which I think does a phenomenal job in the film. I really like the actor. I don't know who it is, but the actor, I think, really did a really good job in the film. Anyways, the other brother is more of an atheist. He doesn't believe in God at all. He has no faith, just full-on atheist. He's not religious at all. Well, like I said earlier, his brother is, a priest. He's very religious, and throughout the film, they kind of have, arguments and stuff about religion. Anyways, a very cool film. And then, the whole 11-11-11 comes into play, where this number, 11-11 keeps coming in. He has a car accident at this time. All these things start happening at the time of an 11-11. And he starts to do research, and he starts to find out why these things are happening on this certain date. Anyways, 11-11-11 is a great film. I really liked it. Very well done film. Now, out of all the films that came out on DVD, that was my favorite. If I had to pick a favorite out of the films, so we have The Divine, we have Mission Impossible, Warhorse, The Afflicted, The Innkeepers, and 11-11-11. I will have to say, if I had to pick my favorite out of those 5 or 6 films, I would probably pick 11-11-11. I just think it was a cool film in general. You guys will probably notice in my other, it seems that I always pick a horror film, and that mainly reason is that's just because horror seems to be my fix when it comes to movies in general. I like all kinds of films, but horror's my fix. Anyways, like I said, 11-11-11 is my favorite movie that came out on DVD in April. Just 11-11-11. You guys really ought to check it out. It's a great film. Theaters, like I said, there wasn't a lot that came out, but if I had to pick one, my favorite theatrical film for April would have to be Cabin in the Woods. May seems like a much better month for movies, and I can't wait till May comes around. Anyways, that's my video for the best of April of 2012. Like, comment, subscribe to my page below, and I'll see you guys later with another best of video.